Okay, so we've reached that stage in your sixth form journey where we would be encouraging you to start thinking about your next steps. So where is it that you feel that you want to go? Where is your future after year 13? Where is your future going to lead you? Is it going to be university and doing a degree in the subject or subjects that you really love? Are you already thinking now that you might want to do an apprenticeship because you're more of a practical person? You don't feel that university is going to be for you, or are you actually thinking that you might want to look at the job opportunities out there for people your age, and look into that field? So this PowerPoint today, and what I'm going to be talking to you about, is hopefully going to lead you through that process that you are going to be thinking about in terms of looking at your next steps. So whilst the PowerPoint is mainly guided at those people for the UCAS application, because that is the thing that has a more of a time deadline on it this year, there are lots and lots of valuable things that I'm going to be talking about which are really important for those people who are considering apprenticeships or jobs. So as I see it, there are four different things, particularly those people who are looking at the UCAS application, four different areas that you need to think about. The first one, the blue one top left, is your choice of course or university. So you'll be asked to make 5 choices of course. It could be 5 different universities, it could be certain courses within the same university, but you have 5 choices to make. So that's something that you need to start thinking about now. The other one, the top red, then is the formality of completing the UCAS online application. It's really not something that you need to be worried about. It's just a clear form, like any other form really that you have probably completed in many other aspects of your life. It does ask you for some specific details. I'm going to take you through the kind of things that it asks for, but also just highlight for you any errors that we just want to just make sure that you don't make on that application form. The green at the bottom, the third thing is your personal statement. So that's kind of like a mini essay, and it's on you as a person. So that's the bit where you're going to be selling yourself. Obviously, the online application involves you inputting lots of personal data about yourself, email addresses, your actual address, the courses that you've studied at GCSE, etc., etc. But the personal statement is written sentences, and it's that bit of information that hopefully is going to draw that university in, and it's going to make them feel that you would be someone they would want to have on that course or at their university for the qualities that you have and that you would bring. So that's a really important part of it. And the other one, the yellow box there, it's starred because that's something that you're not going to be considering initially. So the first part of this process really is looking at the first 3, the blue, the red and the green sort of parts of your next steps. But the yellow one is important because the teachers play a key role in being able to give information about you and how you study and what sort of level you are at in your studies, and whether or not they think that you are suitable and you would be a good candidate for the course that you're applying for. So they will also put your predicted grades in for you. Now I will explain in a minute, but you don't need to think about sending out your teacher references to your teachers until you have completed the personal statement. So one of the key aspects of your next step is your choice of course or uni. Regardless of whether you're looking at a uni application or an apprenticeship or anything else, you need to start thinking about and reflecting on what kind of person you are, what sort of course you think will be one that you would like to do. And I think this links in very closely with the writing of the personal statement, because when you start writing your personal statement, you'll see that a lot of what you're doing is just reflecting on the aspects of your learning or the aspects of the things that interest you, that are the most important to you, and the ones that you really want to have in a future career or in a course that you are going to be studying for the next after year 13 for the next 3 to 4 years, depending on which uni course you choose, or in an apprenticeship, one that's going to lead to a career in that field. So it's really exciting. It's exciting to start thinking about all the courses that are out there and start researching them, for some people, I've had a couple of my tutees mention that it's actually quite scary, and it is, until I think the scariness of it is just the unknown. So the more you can do in terms of trying to find out about the different courses that unis offer, the better. And so what I'm going to take you through is a link now to a booklet that I've produced that hopefully gives you some links to things that you can start looking at that are going to help. So on the school website, there is an area that is post 16. So either in the top tab, or if you might find it, if you're accessing it from home, it will come down the right hand side. You need to click on the post 16, and then what you'll get is the introduction to the post 16 area. But one of the bits on that is the UCAS option. So click on the UCAS option, because this is where we file everything that might be useful for you in your UCAS application. And I know that this is going to be for some people for apprenticeships, but you will see in the booklet that there are links to be able to find out about apprenticeships. So don't worry that it does say just UCAS. Select the option UCAS How To booklet, and you'll see on the right hand side there, you'll see what the booklet looks like, and that will be one that you can download from here. So the first page in the booklet gives two options. First one being researching courses and open days. Some of you are already well on board with this, and you've begun to have a look at universities and done even some virtual tours or virtual open days, or remotely joined into seminars where people have been explaining courses that you're interested in. That's something that we're very much aware that some of you are already engaged in. If you're not actually doing that at the moment, then you need to look at those 4 options in section 1, click on those links and have a look at finding out some information. Number 2, there has UCAS alternatives, and this is where you will find information as well on apprenticeships, local apprenticeships in the Plymouth area, as well as the government apprenticeship site, so that you can see when deadlines are for apprenticeships, the sort of apprenticeship that you'd like to apply for, and all the information that you should need is there. Okay, first deadline really to be thinking about are those people who are going to be applying to either Oxford or Cambridge University, or if you're looking at studying medicine, because your deadline is the 15th of October to have done your application. So we're talking UCAS now for this bit, and you need to have made sure that you've got all of the different aspects of your application, the form, the personal statement, and your course choices all inputted by that date. So we're not entirely sure what's going to happen in September, but don't worry, we're going to be looking and knowing that you are going to be those sorts of students who need the most support immediately as soon as we get back in September, because that's a deadline that's going to be looming, and you've only got that first term to be able to complete it. So that's that first deadline. So alongside that one area that you're going to start researching in terms of the course that you would like to do or the university you'd like to go to, and remember we're aiming to try and pick 5. You don't have to pick 5, but you have the option of selecting 5 different courses or unis. The next thing that goes alongside that is obviously the UCAS application form, and in order to do that you need to register with UCAS first. So once you start your registration, you need to click on the link in the booklet to the UCAS homepage, and you'll see that you have a drop down menu that you need to select students from. So once you click the sign in or register button, and you'll start the registration process by clicking on students, and then the next one there is that you are going to click on undergraduate. So anyone who hasn't currently got the degree, you are classed as an undergraduate, so you are just starting on the university application process, and that's the red option. And then you will see that takes you through to a screen where you will be looking at 2021 entry. You are looking to start university in 2021, so that's the one that you need to click on. So click on apply 2021. Okay, so the next section of the online booklet that I've put together for you takes you through completing your personal information, and that's exactly what it sounds like it is. It's your name, your age, your address, and all those details that they would need to know from you. If you click on the blue link, that will take you straight through to the instructions on UCAS and how to complete that section of the application, just so that you avoid any mistakes. But the most important thing to consider is that you need to use your own personal email address. So make sure that's a sensible email address, and it's your own personal one that you can be accessed, you can use during the summer holidays when you will be getting your A-level grades, and you may need to be liaising with universities at that stage. And also please make sure that you make a record of your username and password, because as you're not going to necessarily be going into UCAS very regularly at the moment, you do need to make sure that you can access and get back into UCAS without having to register again. Registering a second time because you've forgotten a password does actually create extra work, and it confuses us when you have 2 applications running. So please try and avoid avoid that if you can. Myself, Mrs. Earnshaw, I am the person who this year is going to be the lead for UCAS, so that means that I will be doing the ultimate checking once you have talked all of your application through with your tutor. So applications will not be sent until I have checked them. The education section is an important one on the application form, and again there is a link for you to follow with support from UCAS on how to complete that, but most importantly you need to use the drop down qualifications that we will have inputted into the system. In particular the science one causes a little bit of an issue sometimes, so please look for those drop down qualifications so that you know that you're inputting the correct one, and you need to make sure you put your grades and your exam boards that you did all of your GCSEs. That information is available. If you don't have the certificates to hand, it is available from your tutor. We can actually look on Sims and we can get that information for you, but in the first instance you need to use what you've been given by the exams office in the past to input that information. Choices, we've discussed those a little bit before, but you need to be really trying to find out as much information about the courses as possible before the end of the summer, so that you can really have used that time to your benefit to be able to inform you on what the sorts of things are that you think you'd be likely to study. And then the next thing I wanted to just talk to you about really is the section I've put in the booklet on common errors. So we've talked about the email address. Make sure that's your personal one, not your school one. Where it says on the application form the area of permanent residence, you're going to put Plymouth. So we are not part of Devon. If you live in the Plympton area, you are in theory not part of Devon. You are Plymouth, and that you put down that you are a UK citizen and then England. So those two things need to be clear. Your unique learner number, your ULN number, is available from your tutor. So you need to get that from your tutor at some point so that you can fill that one in. And then over to the right there, the fee code needs to be O2, and that links you through to the area of Plymouth, so that you can any fees that would be required to be paid would come from the Plymouth Authority, and that just really attaches you to sort of the Plymouth Authority financial aspect of things. And then your nominated access, the last one that's circled there, it's usually a parent. So that would mean that if for any reason you were unavailable, be it that you were on holiday, or for any reason you were, for example, in hospital, or you were unwell and you weren't able when it comes out to results, and results come out and you need to be able to clarify everything to do with your university, or if indeed through the process anybody wants to contact you, the nominated access is the person that you trust and the one that would be available apart from you to be able to talk through your UCAS application. So for many people that's a parent, either a mum or dad, and you just need to put their full name and their relationship in that bit there. Additional information, this one's quite important. There is one that says parental education. If you're circling or if you're writing yes in that box, then that would mean that your parent has studied to university level. They have a university level qualification. Okay, so you can always check that with your tutor, or maybe have a little look on the details on the UCAS where it's about completing your application, just to check if you're a bit unsure on your parental education, but hopefully they'll be able to confirm for you. If either of them does have a university degree, then you would put yes, and if they don't, you would put no. So just make sure you clarify that one. Okay, and then the last one just at the bottom there that's circled, where it says please state the highest level of qualification you expect to have before you start your course, you would select below honours degree level qualifications. So you have not completed a degree yet, so you are below honours degree level. Okay, so that's the one that needs to be in there. So now we come to the personal statement section. Mr. Stone has already given us some information about how to complete your personal statement, and if you haven't watched it already, then I would definitely recommend going back and watching the bulletin from the week commencing the 29th of June. But I'm going to highlight in this section the links that you can find that I have put into the booklet that I've produced, and the links that are mostly on the UCAS website. So you can see there that there are a variety of different links. All of them take you through to a variety of different places to get some information and some really good guidance on how to write your personal statement. So use these alongside the information that you've already had from Mr. Stone. The most important thing really to remember is that as we're trying to monitor you in being able to complete this application, you must produce the first draft of your personal statement to be checked by your tutor by the October half term. So that's when we would like you to have made sure you've definitely completed your first draft. Clearly, we would be really recommending that you try and do it earlier than that because you don't want to put added pressure onto tutors to check them, and you might want to be starting to think about sending off your application sooner than that. So you really do need to be thinking about that now. So the 15th of October there, I've already mentioned, being the application deadline for Oxbridge, that's Oxford or Cambridge applications, medicine, dentistry, veterinary, medicine or science. The next one is, I've just mentioned, is the October half term, when you need to have completed your final draft of your personal statement earlier if possible. And then you can only send your subject teacher reference requests once we have seen your personal statement. So we just really hope that you work hard on trying to produce your draft of your personal statement to its near finished completion, so that you can then get on board with sending out an email to your teachers to be able to, or one teacher from each subject, so that they can write their reference for you. Okay, and then so January 15th, which is the same day every single year, and it will be in 2021. That's the deadline for your applications. And just bear in mind that for you now, you're thinking, well, that's quite a long time away. But remember, some people actually get theirs done in the autumn term. Those people in particular, those people who might be on board or use their summer wisely to start doing research and chatting to people, and possibly even look at getting some work experience where that was appropriate. And I know it's difficult at this time. They would be completing their applications before Christmas, some of them, or even earlier, and that then means that they actually get first choice by some universities on their courses, and they also manage to get offers before other people. So you will notice that towards the end of term 2, so that one leading up to Christmas, you will start to find that a lot of your friends may already have applied. So if you have that 15th of January deadline in your head and you're really only working towards that, you may find that you are one of the last people to get your offers through from university. So my big suggestion would be don't put it off until that date. And we need to obviously bear in mind that teachers writing references, myself, Mr. Stone and Mrs. Curtis, who are going to be checking them, will not be on hand necessarily the day or the minute that you want us to be when we are checking through your final application. So you need to make sure that you do that in good time if you can. So teacher references, I'm just going to explain how this part of the application process works. Mentioned those. This is the form that you will be sending out via email. Once your tutor's happy that you've written your personal statement, you will send this form out to the tutors. You need to make sure you complete the first section, because when tutors are getting quite a lot of these in from students, from year 13 students, they need to know the name and in particular the course that you're looking to apply for, so that they can hopefully tailor their information that they write about you towards the course that you're applying for and suggest why you would be suitable for it. Okay, and then as I've explained, your tutor gets the comments back from your teachers alongside the predicted grades, and they need to upload those then onto the system, and they can upload those onto UCAS. And at that stage, that's the point when hopefully, if everything else is done, that we're ready to look at sending it off. So October half term, final draft of your personal statement, and teacher references get sent out after that. As soon as they're back in, then you can look to pay and send and book an appointment with me, so that we can then look at hopefully just pressing the button that says send. Okay, so you pay directly online on the UCAS site for that, just like you would be with any other online payments. Okay, so as I've just said, don't worry too much about the yellow section at the moment, because you can't really get around to that until you have completed the application and you've written your personal statement. So numbers 1, 2 and 3 are the main ones you need to be focusing on at the moment. Start looking into your chosen course or university, looking into and reflecting on what kind of person you are and what kind of things you want a degree in a degree, and where you're looking at heading in the future. If you get stuck on any of that, then please communicate with your tutor. If you're stuck on anything at all, then your tutor is your the first person you should be contacting to try and have a chat through these things. Number 2, completed your UCAS online application. Hopefully this gives you everything you need to be able to start completing that online application. The sooner you register with UCAS and get on board with being able to use the UCAS website, the better, to start completing that form and looking up the information. And the third thing is your personal statement. Information's been given by Mr. Stone, but please start getting on board with being able to write in the separate sections that Mr. Stone has talked about, personal information about you that is going to form your personal statement. And that's it. Good luck. See you soon.